segment. Yeah, so Gus.
Thank you, Oni. I'd like to say good morning to you. Good morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Listening to the True Breakfast Show on this lovely Wednesday morning, the 4th date of August 2021. We have Representative Ellen A. Attoh from Margibi County, District Number 3. And we'd like to acknowledge this morning the guys from Classic FM in Upper Margibi County and Farmington FM in Lower Margibi County, relaying this edition of the TBS this morning. Honorable Representative, I'd like to say welcome to the True Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
Well, you just from the county?
Yesterday, day before yesterday. Sorry.
Okay, so how did you leave the county?
I left the county quiet for a while, but then suddenly there was another outburst yesterday,
Okay,
which I monitored through the media institutions.
okay. So how is it like when it comes to since you ascended to the position? How is it like with you? How are you coping? Because this is a new area that you went.
Yes, I'm coping well. Yes, there are some challenges, but overall, I think the gains are more than the negativity. So I think it's going well.
Relationship wise, how is it like with your people of the county, specifically the constituency, the district that you represent?
Our relationship is very good. We have a very cordial relationship with the people. We interact, we relate to each other as often as it should be.
So, from your previous statement, it tells me that perhaps you are residing here and doing the work of the people of Mikey, District Number 3. How often do you go to the district?
Normally, I'm in the district every weekend, but I do go sometimes during the week. It depends.
Mm.
You know how our work is, and nowadays the flow of traffic is not so in our favor. So leaving Margibi every morning, to be precise, Kakata to make it to town is kind of a difficult. So I leave from Kakata sometimes early Monday morning or late Sunday evening to enable me participate at the Capitol building. Of course, Monday we have leadership meetings. On Tuesday, session days, Wednesday for legislative working in terms of public hearing, committee reports. Thursday, another session. So we have Friday as the weekend to be able to interact with our people in the district.
It's obvious, most often when politicians are coming for positions, they come with too many promises, not knowing what is even there, but they made those promises so that they will gain the favor from the people. Are you meeting up with those promises that you made?
Yes, and even beyond that. So one of my key promises made to the people was empowerment of the youth, but most especially the women.
Okay.
So on the line of that, I can tell you that we are doing extremely well, and we will continue to do more for our people to ensure that they are empowered.
What kind of empowerment you involved into giving micro loans or you building their capacities?
Building capacities, micro loan, trade, whatever that they want to do, because I don't like to impose on my people. They bring the idea, I reach out to them to ask them what they can do to empower themselves. So whether it's through trade, whether it's through the micro loan, whether it's through education, we do it for them.
Now, District Number 3 is both Firestone and that of private land area. I'm talking about you have part of it in Kakata, you have part of it in the divisions. How have you been able to effect almost all of what you told the people, especially Firestone? Sometimes people will tell you that Firestone is on, I mean, it's developing, carry on development for our people. So, as a representative, you do not need to pay hand pump. We do not need to build road because Firestone will construct the roads. What are you involved with doing for the people of the Firestone belt?
So for the people of Firestone, we do advocate for them and we also empower them through the trade. So there are things that they get from Firestone, but there are things that they don't get from Firestone, especially those who serve as contractors.
Okay.
So those who serve as contractors, we know there are some limitations. Their children are not entitled to go to school. So we facilitate the process by helping them to send their children to school and pay the tuition. We also be empowering the men through the driving school program, as well as the women. We're able to conduct a training program in Division 27 to be precise, through the soap making. They graduated. Division 35, they're baking, 31 ongoing right now, 28. So we are gradually getting all through the various divisions within the plantation. So it's not only the what we do like hand pumps in Kakata. Of course, we cannot construct in the premises of Firestone. Sometimes we try to dialogue with them. But outside of that, we do carry on road rehabilitation that our people normally use the benefit from it. For example, the road from 26 Gate to the main street of Kakata.
Okay.
We know that most of them who can afford to go to the Firestone Hospital because they are not covered as full employee, they do go to CH Rennie Hospital. And currently we have another one right to the 26 Gate. So they use that road to have easy access to hospital, even to Kakata to transact their normal business.
What kind of lawmaker are you? A lawmaker that consults the constituents before taking decision, or a lawmaker who take decision and care less about how the people feel?
As I said earlier, I'll talk to my people to find out as to what they want in terms of empowerment before I give it to them. So we normally consult our people, we discuss, and then we find our way forward. I don't impose on my people because I don't believe in failed projects. I always want for our project to be a success. So I ensure that it is actually from the people, the will of the people.
So, what is your major challenge in the district that you are trying to tackle?
I want to do more for the people. I wish I can have the helping hand from people around, not to just always sit and criticize, but at least come up with ideas. It doesn't have to be financial aid. Sometimes the ideas you come up with, the policy, the way we advocate, they link. Not all of the work should be done by us. So if we have more people coming in on board, example, knowing of institutions who are into the business of education, who are into the business of safe drinking water, once you can help us to advocate, we will be able to do. Because in as much as we are doing what we are doing for the people, there are still many things that we still need to do for them.
Now, too many of your colleagues have been crying that no funding coming from government so that you'll be able to erect some projects, especially the projects you told the people that you would have done upon your election. How is it like for you? How are you sourcing out the money with all that you're talking about, empowering women, carry on some rural rehabilitation, some hand pumps? Where are you getting the money from?
Some from my salary,
Okay.
some from my business, my family business, and some also through friends that we made along the way. We do reach out to them. So if you monitor my activities, every time I do things, I ask the people before I publish it or whatever we do, we need to make it public to the people. Because sometimes we reach out to people, for example, we have a disaster in our district, we need zinc. We are not particular about the money. So if you can do that donation for us, we appreciate. So you find people coming in with one bundle, two bundles, they should be able to see at the end of the day that whatever request you made today was actually a genuine one, because the salary is nothing. We cannot do everything with the salary. And yes, the money is not coming forth for the county development as it should be. Or if it will come, the demand of the people are far more than what we are receiving. So of course you have to go in your pocket extra from what you have to be able to do for your people. You cannot count on your salary alone.
Previously, you have money from my China Union. That is, you benefited, Maserati benefited, one country benefited, and that money you had accounted certain. How did you go about accounting for you?
Yes, so we are still having discussions with the PMC because, as you know, as per the law, we do not participate. We have county sitting where the delegates will make the decision as to what they want. The first money that came could not cover up most of the projects. So we were able to talk to Firestone, even though we have not gotten the full agreement from them, but we are still in negotiation with them to give us an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, to be able to construct a school in the 31. That's the JB Waka Public School that was there before, but it got broken down through the storm.
Okay.
But we need that MOU before we can proceed. However, the first money that came, we targeted that school to be built. But we got the information from the PMC that as per the standard of the Ministry of Education, the money that was allocated for that school could not build the school. Ministry of Education has our own standard. So we could not do that project. We have not gotten any money from that for that project. And we are still looking forward to Firestone to give us the go ahead to construct that school, because as I speak, The kids walk almost an hour plus to the block party they want just to be able to go to school.
Okay.
So you wouldn't feel pleased knowing that you have your kids so young as 5, 6, 7 years old walking through the plantation for an hour plus to go to school and come back. And most of them can't afford to even have motorbike carrying them to school. So the money that came, it wasn't enough. There are some projects that weren't completed.
Okay.
We have to see how we can complete those projects and turn it over to the people. And whatever the case may be, if we can reach out to other projects, we will be able to do it. I stand to be corrected, but I think something between 16 to 18,000 per a district.
Okay.
So if you
Are
look
you
at
talking
that,
about? Are you talking about the
immaterial.
money that came from China Junior, or are you talking about the recent 100,000 that was given to you by
No,
central
the
government
recent 100,000 because
that you
what?
just had a counterfeiting for?
Yes, and what came from China, that's what I spoke on
Okay.
earlier as it relates to the school.
Okay.
I could not even cover everything as I speak. We still got project in the telecom community that is not completed from the China Union. So now that we have this small money that came, the 100,000, we will have to prioritize those projects that are outstanding to make sure that it is completed and turned over to the people.
You got 30K for legislative engagement. It has been a serious problem. Too many persons have raised about the money, especially you getting the money, though it is legal. The issue of legality is not the question, but the timing. What is the own involvement with the 30K? Some are taking it to help facilitators, some are taking it to rural rehabilitation. Why have you taken yours?
For the record, 30,000 was allocated and 15,000 I received the first 15,000.
Okay.
And if the 15,000 should be ready again, I will receive it.
You haven't gotten your
No,
15,000?
not yet. So I've been on break. We've been on break. I've been in my district. So maybe if there's check available, maybe I will see it because of the saga in my district. I didn't make it to work on Monday. I didn't make it there yesterday either.
Okay.
So I don't know. But for what I received the first time for which I made known to the public is the 15K. And this is it. If you follow the budget is an open document for everybody to review. That money that was allocated for the legislators in that budget of 30,000 total, look at the period and do the division of 30,000 divided by the 6 years period. You saying that the timing or people believe that the timing was wrong. Have we asked ourselves why is it that the money came that time versus the real time that was supposed to come? Government do face challenges. So if we go and put in our request as per the division, how much is supposed to get, if you even do the calculation on a monthly basis to be able to engage your people, you realize that money is $416 for your legislative engagement. So every Saturday and Fridays are days set aside to engage your
Your
constituents.
constituents.
So engaging your constituents, you need to have town hall meetings, you need to invite the people, you need to transport them. That's what it's actually meant for. But that money did not come the way it's supposed to come. So after the government said, yes, now we were able to make good on our revenue, we are coming in to give the legislator exactly what we owe them. So we will make the 15,000 available because the amount sounded so huge. Everybody felt disenchanted or so, but it's nothing illegal.
The question is the concern here is you allot money so that you have some legislative practice that sometimes are implemented by laws.
Mhm.
So if you're doing that, why say again you have to put that kind of money in the budget just for your own engagement? Because now you all your projects, money that are placed in the budget, lays control the projects.
Yes, but the question is, have you asked whether Liz are able to do any project for any lawmaker in this 54th? I will tell you no.
Why? Because you didn't put money there for it.
That's the question you should ask. What happened? So if the money is there and government saying that the budget is not performing, we cannot do legislative project at this time. What do we do? What do we do? Are you going to sit and say, even though I know there should be legislative projects and the government is saying there's no money at this time, so I can afford to do a hamper for my people, I will not do it? No. Then I mean you don't have a heart for the people you represent, especially when you know that the people are in need. So we cannot wait for lists. But I can tell you, if we should have lists doing our projects each year as it should be, it will be a plus for the country because you realize that there will be more development. So it is something that we want. But if the government is saying that they cannot do it because financially the budget wasn't performing, we cannot push them to the wall to do the extraordinary.
Now let's get back to your district about this saga that has been on the media. Marketers from they say you build a structure right behind the police station, not far from the police station, and that area is right along the road. So the city mayor and that of the superintendent of the county told it wise to tell the people to leave the area so that they can go to the me market building that was built by Senator Emmanuel Nukwe in 2017. How did it go?
It did not go well. And for the record, all I ever want and will still want is to ensure that my people are happy, to improve the livelihood of the people, the women, the young girls, through the empowerment. So that market has been there since between 2015 to 2016,
Okay.
behind the police station. It is not even on the same line with the police station. The police station is far ahead of the market from the main road and even from the road that leads to C.H. Rennie. So that market has been there for so many years, even before the construction of the Vata market, what you refer to as Newport's market.
Okay.
So for you to say the superintendent did not see it right for the market to be there, I'm taken by surprise because we are
But
been working with
if
the.
you tell the marketers to leave the area of the house, there's some danger attached. That's why the authority is telling the marketers to go to the main building.
Yes, so I'm getting there. There were some missteps along the way.
Okay.
So this is it. That market has been there since 2015, 2016, even before the Vata market.
Okay.
So prior to the construction of the general market, when they started to reconstruct that market, those that were in that market were removed and they went behind the police station on the road, not in the market behind the police station. Before we even get to that point, there was a point in time that I was invited at the LMA here in person of Benson, collected some group of people, and they did an extension to that market. When I went in, I realized that they were all women, they were all citizens of Liberia, and they're trying to make ends meet. So I said the best you can do is to ensure that they are here orderly and they should be supervised,
Okay.
which I know that they were under the supervision of LMA. So they were there with two heads of the market, and everything was okay until that big market reconstruction started taking place. That way, the people became internally displaced in terms of having a marketplace. So they were all on the road from the police station down almost to the water tower. I complained. I spoke to the city mayor. I spoke to Benson. I spoke to the superintendent person of my harassment. I spoke to Margibi, who is in charge of the police station market, on several occasions. I even went and took pictures that I don't like the way it is. And they constantly told me that Benson brought the people there and he takes money from them on a daily basis, $20, and every Saturday he collects $100 along with the city
From
police.
each table.
Yes. So after that, they should be able to clear the streets and the gallons, the sticks, or whatever that the people do use there for the selling. So I'm like, if that's the case, we need to see how best we can work together. I have paid to clean the garbage from that place. I have talked until finally I said, Benson, if that market is completed, what we need to do first, let's identify those who do not have table or space under the market and encourage them to go to the general market. Once they are in the general market and the rest of them can go to the vital market, we'll have that facelift that we want. I even also talked to the police that we should work together to be able to get those cars that are on the road to a suitable place to enable free movement of cars in and out. So that market has not been the issue. But those that need a place to be to earn their daily bread, they were the ones that went there. So what can we do now? In my mind, after the market was completed, they should have been the first group to be prioritized to go there.
Okay.
Of course, that's what I think it should be because they were just there trying to manage selling under umbrella, unlike those who were actually under the market kitchen that had the actual shelter. So there we should have prioritized them. That did not happen. there was meeting held. I didn't know about the meeting, but I heard that there was a meeting and the market would have been demolished on, I think, the 1st of August. So when I heard it, I called the mayor. I spoke to the mayor for over 15 minutes.
Who's the mayor?
Uh, Honorable Emmanuel Gore.
Okay.
He's the mayor of Kakata. So I talked to the mayor. I said, Mayor, this is what it is. We have all complained. This is what we want. But I think we should hold on to have a final dialogue to see how we can identify space for them at first before getting them off the street. We cannot get them off the street without knowing where they will be going. And after my survey that was conducted, 26 persons from the general market confronted me and they appealed that I help them with zinc to be able to construct their own table in the central market. So I became curious. If this market has space as it is insinuated, why are people constructing something else outside? So we had a meeting on Thursday with Benson. The superintendent should have been in that meeting, but he said he was in another meeting. He sent the county inspector to represent him. We have all the superintendents from Margibi.
The market superintendents?
Market superintendents. Habel, Compound, Buyala, Kakata. They were all there in a meeting.
Just to resolve that one market issue?
Exactly. We had a meeting for over 2 hours. That meeting was held on Thursday. And after that meeting, Benson was in that meeting. After that meeting, we agreed that we would have had another meeting on Saturday. Because in that meeting, I said to them that the mayor is not in this meeting, but the county inspector is there representing the superintendent, and the mayor is under the superintendent. So they will be able to convey the message to him to see how best we can give them time, show them space where to go, so they can easily take their belongings and go to where they will be directed. Surprisingly, on Saturday, I called Benson to no avail. I spoke to one of his men, in person of Kwesi, who sells the ticket to the marketeers. So I told him, I said, I already talked to Mambi. I need you to go there, work along with her to ensure that those that are on the road, as per what we agreed in a meeting, do not collect money from them again. Because once you collect money from them in their minds, they have the right to remain on the road to sell because they are paying to City Police and to LMA. We all agree. So I called Saturday, I talked to Kwesi again. He said, okay, where is Benson? Benson gone to funeral. I said, okay, I'll be waiting. People call me. I said, I don't know why Benson is now calling our meeting. The Thursday meeting, it was his call meeting, not my meeting. But I attended just so we can have a common ground for the people.
Okay.
So I was taken by surprise when I received numerous calls on Saturday night, almost Sunday morning, that the market was being demolished. And the very Benson was right there. I called Benson. Benson phones were off. I called the mayor the same way. So I was able to get in contact with the Minister of Internal Affairs and the superintendent. The superintendent got there. Tried to post up to it, but it was already late. I felt bad. I felt discouraged because when the process was ongoing, I heard the women in the background crying, we beg you, at least allow us to take our goods from the warehouse. We got our properties, we got our goods, we got our generator, we got other things there. And some of the guys, I don't know whether they work for the office of the mayor or from LMA, but I could hear them in the background. If you go there, we will break you as well.
Now, so with that said, I want to know the demolition of that market. Did you ask, or have you been able to ask the mayor as to the reason for which they demolished that market? Is perhaps they do have tables for the people? I mean, there are about 26 or more than 26 persons you're talking about in the Vata market.
No, the point of correction, the 26 names that were presented to me were those who appealed to me for zinc to do the extra construction.
Okay.
So this was my proposal in the meeting, because the meeting we had, the various superintendents of the other markets spoke. Now we came to this big market and they told us no space.
No space.
We went to Vita market and they told us no space. And my exact response to them was, no, we will be able to do something. We understand that it's going to be more competitive if they should entertain you people.
So the market we're talking about, is your area wherein you procure the land for the marketers, or that someone land the marketers are squatting on? Because it could be the landowner raising issue.
No, it's not.
he or she wants them to live.
No, it's not the landowner. I said to you, I've been my people have been occupying that place since 2015, 2016, and I'm in contact with the landowner. So it's nothing like the landowner wants the place and asks the mayor to demolish the market. No, the mayor felt that he had to demolish the market because that's the only way those that were selling on the street will be discouraged from selling on the street.
And don't you think that's a very good idea?
I can say to you, we all want the facelift of the county.
Okay.
I also said to you, I took pictures. But you went there, you saw it, or you saw pictures of the market, or
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
you know where the market is, you know where the intellectual center is. So pray tell me, way behind the light pole, can you call that the road? No. Those that came that were brought by the LMA head Benson, he should be able to recognize them and say, now that we have completed the market, you people are our first or second priority. Let's go back their space. So when they said to him that we confronted these people in the big market and they told us no space, Fata market, no space. The head of the police station market told them she could take 15 persons to be in that market because they were trying to share the group on the three markets at the time. So it's not an issue of the market being on the road because you have seen it. It's not a secret where the market is, where the police station is. So if there's anything that is on the road, it should be the police station, not the market.
So what are you telling me? Is it you see it as a unilateral decision on the part of the city mayor, or
Yes, because I even spoke to the superintendent and he gave me his word over and over. He said, no, the market cannot be broken down, not because we want the market to be there.
Superintendent told you that?
Yes, but of course, it's because we want to ensure that there's space in the central market, there's space in the vital market to accommodate the people. So if we are removing the people from that market, we should be able to secure a place for them. So this is the $1 million question. If there's space in the general market, why are the people constructing extra tables outside of the general market?
It's obvious sometimes you see market building, but people don't want to sell within the building. Believe like when they are outside, they will be the first people to be interacted with.
Okay, so if you say it's obvious, then why are you or why is the mayor or any other person insisting that those people must leave the police station and go in the market versus those who were already in that market to allow them to go on it? If you know it's by choice that somebody can elect to be where they want to sell, then we shouldn't bother them. But that's not the case here.
The safety matter.
The safety matter, that's what we're looking at. So it's not about there's a market structure, but I don't want to be there. I want to be outside.
So now that the area is demolished, what are you going? Because you as a lawmaker, you have an area you were advocating for your people, but the mayor is telling you no, the people can't be here because they will hinder the business of the others. So let them all go there. What are you going to do next? It is broken down now.
Augustine, what I want, and I will continue to say, is the peace of mind of the people to ensure that they are in power, so that it's not about Honorable Attoh winning the mayor or the superintendent. At the end of the day, Margibi should win. After the meeting we had at the superintendent's office, we all agree in that meeting that the first step forward is to have the demarcation along with, we had a conference call first, that there should be a demarcation, that nobody will go outside of that demarcation behind the police station. They should be selling there. And let's see, those who do not have any space in the table, they should go to the two markets. The superintendent, the mayor, the LMA, we all left the superintendent's office. We went to District 4, the central market in District 4. We saw it. Other people were saying we've been here and we were told there's no space. I asked, I said, well, so those that asked me for the Zine, where the listing was presented to me, 26%, I tried to ask few persons, so what y'all want to do? Why y'all need a Zine? Because I've seen the structure is saying there's space. They said, no, we're told there's no space. Can you not see the structures we are trying to mount here? If there's space, we wouldn't be appealing for Zine. We went to the Vata market along with the mayor. He even tried for us to go outside to another person's lane to see how we can do an extension. And then the head of that marketing person of Basil said, no, the owner of this land just cleared this land. Apparently, he got something to do, but we can go on the other side, which he gave us a demarcation for an extension. So it clearly says that Even the Vata market under the structure itself, it cannot accommodate
So do you feel
everybody.
overlooked as a lawmaker by the decision of the mayor?
It's not about me being overlooked. It's about us working together as leaders to ensure that our people are okay. It's to ensure that we listen to the cry of our people and make decisions together that will affect them positively, not to put women against each other.
Okay.
I can tell you, in the meeting that we had, I said it openly. Since Vata market, the general market is the newest market, and a lot of people want to go there. We are going to empower the first group of people that want to go there, that are leaving this police station market or the street to go there. They will be our first priority. Openly, I said it. That's how the people were able to present their
With
needs.
that good idea you have, still the market is demolished. What are you going to do? Encourage the people
So,
to go to the market, or you going to encourage them to come back to
as per the discussion we had as leaders, the people will remain selling there.
Okay.
So, what we should have done before, to be precise, the office of the mayor in LMA, so that they can do it and see for themselves as we did. As I said to you just now, we went to Vata Market, and the mayor saw that there was no space. If there was space, he wouldn't have shown a demarcation outside of the structure for people to start building something tables there.
Okay.
So clearly it says that there's no space. So the society is growing. Those two markets or three markets cannot even accommodate the people.
Okay.
So the mistake here was to first have the number of people under each superintendent supervision to ascertain whether we can accommodate more persons before demolishing that structure. That
Okay.
was the mistake.
So, what is your relationship with the county caucus? Because sometimes when individual lawmaker is facing a problem like that, you see members coming on board to see as to how best they can rally support so that the best can be done for the people. What is your
I have
relationship?
I have a good relationship with the caucus. During my first term in office, in terms of the caucus the year to serve, I served as the co-chair, and
Okay.
now for election, it wasn't like an election; it was a consensus, and I'm still
They give
serving
it.
as
They
the
give it to you.
co-chair. Yes.
Okay.
So some of my colleagues called me, and they were able to give their input. They were able to reach out to see how best we can solve it. Because the first thing to do is to identify how many spaces are available and how many persons can be accommodated before destroying what was already there, helping people. But I can tell you, it is clear that the market cannot accommodate everybody. If you say this room is fully occupied, people walk in, they should see people all over the place. If you say that structure is there, there's space, that's the question that nobody can answer. Why are we allowing the people to go through extra expensive building table, having zinc outside of the market that you claim? Don't you think it will be prudent for us to do the very demarcation to say this side is for dry goods, is for clothing, this side is for soap, this side for fish? When we have done that and there's no space, we say, okay, then we need to do an extension. Right? Or sellers go outside, potato green sellers go outside. But it is not done that way.
So the legislature where you are seated, many of your colleagues have declared the poll, what the term as poll leadership from my Speaker Buffett Chambers. What kind of leadership are you saying for him?
Um, I would say to you that not everything that the speaker would do would be in the interest of everybody. But I can say that we need to revisit our rules
Okay.
to see how, because the way it is done, the speaker has so much authority. Let me put it that way. You can choose to have your burning issue. You can choose to raise your hand 20 times. If the speaker elect to recognize you, you will be recognized. If not, you have to hijack the floor and talk off the floor, which of course you're just talking to be heard, but not necessarily your thing will be achieve what you want. So the best thing I think to do is to be able to work around that. But speaker is not a bad person. He has his own principles. Sometimes the people say once you got you full of principle, they take you to be maybe too straightforward or they take you to be difficult. See, we are all humans. We have our own ups and downs. We
Okay.
will not be happy with everything that speaker will do. The same thing speaker will not be happy with everything we will do. But I think we need to revisit our rules so that some flexibility can be shown.
War crime code. Do you support the establishment of the
Yes,
war
I
crime
support
code?
the establishment of war crimes court.
And finally, just before we go to the line, one caution that you may even face wherever you go. It has to do with the election of the deputy speaker, where you have one of your own, a female within the race, that it's alleged that you didn't support. Did you support that female candidate you had on from Bon County, woman priest?
I supported her not to vote,
Okay.
but morally. And this is what I say. I also serve as the member on the Committee on Election Inauguration before. In as much as we want women to be at the decision-making table, it is our responsibility as society to mentor the women that when we reach that point, we will be able to deliver. We just don't want the women to be there that will be seen as they are not fully capacitated to represent. We want to be nurtured from the early stage that when it reaches that point, we should be there.
So you think it was so early for her?
Because with their consultation, we should be sincere.
Okay.
With their consultation, and we knew that it wasn't a time. So my advice was, let's see how we can work with the men to grow. And once they know that we are fit to serve that position, it will speak. We'll be able to lobby because it's about a number game. The women were only 8.
Okay.
So there's no way we would have won.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is to learn and then proceed. So electing the deputy speaker, even in the country in general, we shouldn't do things most of the times based on party line. We should look at the interests of the country. What would be prudent for the country versus because my party says this, I must obey, even though I know it will be at the detriment of the people.
Okay, now we'll go to the line, but let's inform you that Farmington FM in Lower Margibi County, Cotton Tree is carrying it live. Classic FM in Upper Margibi County is also carrying this in W live. 0776296659, 0776267088, 0776296659 are the numbers to call this morning and be live on the TBS. Let me talk to this person right on the line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, people of Washington.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Let me say good morning to the revolutionary fighter representing Attoh Wreh. My name is Joe Kamo. I do join you for unification to the Lower Margibi County. People of Washington, as you can see, yesterday in Margibi County, it was looking like a tsunami. You could come and see our market women, our mothers protesting. Some of us, we felt that thing, you know.
Okay.
The issue about this protest, they were playing, the lawmaker play a role. If you keep playing a role, I'm not encouraging you, let's keep fighting for our people.
Okay.
Together for our country.
Okay, let me hold you there. Let me talk to Emmett. Emmett, let's hear you.
Good morning, Augusta, and good morning to Margibi. I am really the problem of Attoh Wreh. My name is Emma. I'm a color for this story. My father has been through to our situation in this country. Only the police does not have the vehicle, and remember that the people will continue to play this in the local color of Margibi County. I'm asking you to start in the same time with the police when you tell the of people that are just scared.
Okay, Emma, have been talking about vehicle. Let me talk to this person right here on the line. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Joseph from calling you from Margibi.
Which part of Margibi?
Hello?
Which part of Margibi? Go ahead.
Hello?
Okay, let me hold you there and talk to this person right there on the line. Good morning. Good morning. Let's hear you. I'll have to hold you there and talk to this person on the line. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Good morning to you and your studio guest. My name is Fred Juma, and I'm filming this one from the Lower Margibi district.
Okay.
I'm making concern about the 30K received by the lawmakers here in Margibi. And the one thing we have had the committee set up to do a follow-up on the usage of the legislative engagement form.
Okay.
The one thing, only our fact finding, we have observed that some lawmakers in the country are now in the interest of the people.
Who are those lawmakers that are not in your interest?
What is Senator Jim Tongana? We are giving it to
Okay. Okay, let me hold you there and talk to this person quickly. We'll take about 2 more calls. Good morning. Good morning, let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Clinton Abraham from Kakata City, Margibi County.
Let's hear you, bro. Okay.
Hello?
Go ahead, Chief. I'm here. I'm getting you.
Yeah, for me, following the show this morning, I just want to say that our lawmaker will say that the market by the police station is far from the police station and is off the road. I don't really know if she has used that road Saturday when it comes to the market before Sunday.
So when Saturday and Sunday, that market can be crowded, huh?
Saturday, if you use that route, just walking is 10 to more than 10 to 15 minutes before you. I don't want to say if you are using vehicle. And this is my next point. I heard a lawmaker talking about empowerment. My brother, I work for this lawmaker or our lawmakers. When they say empowerment, it should be done in the profile of that three cardinal responsibilities.
Okay, let me hold you there and talk to this person and take one more call. Good morning. Good morning. I will hold you there and talk to this person. Good morning.
Good morning, Constance, and good morning to Honorable Ellen Attoh. This is Lawrence, the guy, and I call from the state of things this morning.
Let's hear you, there you go.
Let me say thanks to the Honorable Representative for putting her signature to the amended drugs law, and thanks to the people of Margibi for sharing Honorable Ellen Attoh with the rest of the county and the district as well.
Okay.
Or impacting muscle.
Okay, the last person right on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning, you live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, is it up there?
Wow. Chief, you are live on Chief FM. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Harry. Hello?
Okay, I'll hold you there and take one more call right here on 0776296659. So we call it and they talk to the lawmaker on a practice statement quickly. 0776296659. Well, if there's no call now, one of you firstly you can address the issue of vehicle, the security in that county. They don't have vehicle, but let me just talk to the person briefly, quickly. Good morning. Good morning. Let's hear you.
And I joined your conversation this morning from Kakata to be precise district of Food.
Let's hear you, Harris.
I want to ask the honorable lawmaker, are you telling us publicly that there was no agreement reached between you and Mayor Emmanuel in the demolition of the police station market?
Okay, that's the question. So you can start from that and go to the vehicle issue in 3 minutes.
Okay, there was no agreement. As I said, we had a meeting on Thursday, and I spoke to the mayor. They were supposed to go back to him. I also told you I spoke to the superintendent, and he gave me his word that he was going to talk to the mayor again, that we're not going to demolish the market. So there was no agreement between the mayor and myself on the demolition of the market.
Okay.
On the vehicle issue, I cannot sit here and unilaterally make decision. I will have to talk to my colleagues, but you see, some of these things will be necessary.
Well, I haven't started any discussion of that.
No, that was it will be necessary that you bring it to the attention of the caucus, address the caucus to it, so we will be able to discuss.
So all the money you have divided, going to the 100,000, people never thought of the security of the county.
So okay, let me say to you, if you sitting here and you have not eaten all day, how will I know? You should be able to add. So if you have challenges, you reach out to the caucus and say, these are our challenges. We need help in this direction. Then we see what we can do for you. But other than that, it is not to the attention of the caucus as far as I'm concerned. I stand to be corrected, but it's not something I'm in the know of.
And another caller asked about the danger that market you're talking about poses to the market.
You saw the market, you saw the picture, you know where that very intellectual center is. Can you say whether it's so this intellectual center and the market is on the same line? So are we all saying that it is on the road? What he's mistaking is what I spoke to earlier, that those that left the big market or even the general market or the Vata market, that we term as street sellers are the ones that were there. So the first thing that we agree on as leaders was to do the demarcation far behind the light pole to be able to leave that space. And I also said earlier that I have raised the issue like that. I don't like the way they sell on the road and leave all the garbage and the trash. So it's something that I recognize. And let me say something before I leave. There's no ill feelings that I have for the mayor, the superintendent, or whosoever. We have worked together over the period of time. To tell you how much I am bothered, the mayor of Brooklyn Park, United States, were able to lobby with him. He came to Liberia, and we invited the very mayor to have a meeting with him to see how best he can help our Kakata city in terms of providing vehicle or so. By the grace of God, the mayor is supposed to travel to ensure that that meeting come to
Fluoridation.
Fluoridation.
Okay.
Thank you. So if there's something that I don't want the mayor to do his work, where I won't be the one to do such, I wouldn't do it. So it's not about me insisting. I can tell you, let the people hear me and let me be on record for that. If we can go through the process to ensure that there's space to accommodate every one of them. I'm not particular about the market being there.
Thank you.
What I want is for my people to not be in the street. They should have shelter somewhere that they will be supervised by the LMA as it used to be in the past.
Thank you, Honor Ellen A. Attoh, Wreh, representative of Margibi County, District Number 3. She been here on the first segment of the True Breakfast Show. Thanks to Radio Hamilton FM in Country Law Margibi County, and thanks to Classic FM in Upper Margibi County for relaying this segment of the TBS. I've been Augustus, and thank you.
Thank you.